You can find a lot of stuff over here. Yeah. And then do you guys have any questions so far for the YouTube thing?
So you
I assume this is sort of your version of what is this, like an entertainment website, or is this sort of like
Yeah.
an all?
I think it's
All,
YouTube, right? Just like the Chinese equivalent.
It's like a Chinese YouTube site, but it has
Yeah,
more lot of features to it.
Okay.
Do,
So it's not just people sending
sorry.
videos in. It has other themes. It has I guess it has what, Chinese TV shows and stuff.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay.
Chinese TV shows, movies, cartoons, and then if you want to watch like the most recent one, that you had to become like a member, and you had to sign up, like pay this amount, and then you can watch. But we do have some free ones in the Youku website to watch.
I just subscribe. Do they have Netflix in China?
Netflix.
Blocked. Definitely blocked.
Yeah, that's a definitely blocked one for Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, but so first, Jerry, you pronounce this Youku, right?
Yeah.
Youku.
Youku.
Okay.
Mhm. Youku. Yeah.
Does this interface with anything else? Like, does this interface with some other? I think with Facebook, it interfaces with everything, like YouTube too. They're all connected. Is this connected to something else that's really big, like Baidu Cloud or something in China?
I'm not sure about that one, but cause yeah, that's a very good question though. Like this social.
Because Google and Google bought YouTube years ago, and so they're sort of like they feed each other.
Yeah, maybe
So that's
like
I don't.
Oh,
I think maybe if they do, they wouldn't publicize it here. I don't think there are any there are no privacy laws or rules to protect anybody that exists in China. Like, yeah. So, for example, that whole Facebook thing in the US, in China, that literally happens every single day, but nobody talks about it. Like, because people don't have any rights. Okay, I shouldn't talk about it like that. But like digital rights and privacy doesn't really exist here.
Yeah, that would be typical.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know what? It's a lot easier for them to roll out stuff. That's one of the reasons why it doesn't matter whether it's software or systems, making a building. There are just less regulations because the whole issue of privacy is a legal thing in the U.S. and it's also a confidence thing as well.
With regulation,
that's why things get done in China a lot faster than any place else. That's one of the reasons for success.
But one of the cost of that success, especially like deregulating, especially construction, is just higher fatalities for buildings. The other day, somebody told me that if you want to build a building that takes, however many years, say 5 years, every single year you can expect at least 20 of your workers to die, 20 construction people just to die every year. You just add that in as an expected cost. And I'm not sure what that means in terms of costs, but literally that's just how things work here.
Well, they don't have data. They have a lot stringent OSHA. I mean, obviously, they don't want their buildings just they probably. Oh, listen, China has a very good business in Asia. Doing building engineering, transportation projects, things like that. And if they were having fatalities, left and right, they wouldn't be contracted. I live here in Thailand, and I always see Sino something or other, Sino Thai, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're doing quite well.
I think abroad they have the rules of the country they're operating in, but within China they don't have those rules because it's Chinese people.
I don't know. Iskar, a company called Iskar, which I don't know if you're familiar with that. Interesting company. They what's his name? Warren Buffett actually bought a large stake in them, or at least part of their international operation, and they built a factory in China. Now, Warren said that Warren and also Waldheim, that was Wertheimer is the guy that owned the company on the Israel side. Built it in China. He said would take us 2 years anywhere else. Took us 6 months in China, and they didn't seem very. And listen, Buffett's not the kind of guy that's going to build a building that's going to fall down in a year. There is safety in there. So I would be a little skeptical in saying that at least for factories and people that are putting big money into a factory, those things are not going to disappear. Now, as far as building safety is concerned, in terms of OSHA, those type of things,
so,
I don't know how China enforces that.
Yeah, the buildings themselves, I think, are safe. I think the practices used to create the buildings are unsafe. I don't think
they probably have
safety helmets. I don't think, they're not required.
Like that,
Or some people just don't do it, and there aren't any restrictions to hold them accountable for not doing it. So then, invariably, there will be workplace accidents. But yeah. I mean, China's not a terrible place at all. It's just very, very different. And I think the way people perceive human life is very, very different too. Like the values of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see the economy. I see some of the. I saw there's one film about a Chinese teacher in the rural district, and he had to go away, and he appointed his oldest student, who was 15-year-old girl, as the teacher. I mean, obviously, this is the rural districts, far away from the cities, and they have limited funds. It was a beautiful movie, and what happened was a 9-year-old kid or a 10-year-old kid or something like that. He disappeared. What he did is he went to Beijing or one of the big cities. I don't remember exactly which city he went to, and because she was appointed the teacher, this 15-year-old girl was actually a student. She felt responsible for him, which was interesting. And she went to look for him, and she actually found him. And this whole thing, how she eventually found him. She goes to a TV station. TV station sort of took her cause, and at the end, it was sort of a happy ending thing because people just started donating stuff, notebooks, pencils, school supplies for the kids. So she came back with a lot of fanfare, bringing the kid back with her, and also of all these, sort of making the life more pleasant for the school children. And obviously these are Chinese values. So I don't see.
I don't know if I'd go that far. The film sounds very amusing, but Chinese values.
It wasn't amusing. It was a dramatic film. It was. I mean, this is only assumption on my part. Then why would they show this in a film if this were make-believe?
To make people believe that that's what China's like. But wait. Sorry, I think we're getting off topic, and I don't want to derail Jerry's stuff. Let's talk about this a little bit later because it sounds like an interesting conversation. Yeah, sorry, Jerry. Yeah.
It's all right. It's okay. Yeah. To speak about, do you have any questions so far for the Youku, the website or the YouTube thing, similar to the?
Is that the main place that people that you would say you could go read something? In English, is that the main place you would go to to say to a 9-year-old to read an English book? You showed that. Is that the best place?
Yeah, that's a really good question. For the English books thing, then they usually go to maybe a library, the Chinese library, to do it. But for online thing, they use that website or use the Sohu website, and for the English learn stuff simple words and stuff for it. Yeah.
And are there videos in English on YouTube?
That will I show you. It was a lot of English episodes let them to learn.
Okay.
It's cartoon and stuff, anime stuff.
Great.
You guys have other questions?
I came in sort of the middle. I thought this started at 9 o'clock, and I came in at 3 minutes after, and I seem to miss a lot.
All right, and we're gonna move on to our next question. It was what Nancy's mentioned, that what is a math class look like? During in a Chinese schools, okay, and then when they will learn multiply, divisions, adding, subtractions, all that good stuff, right? And then for me is what I remember is for a math for a Chinese school that it was really tough to learn for me. And then I remember during the second grade, I have to memorize this a chart, a math chart, It's basically it's like one times one equals one times two equals two, and all the way to 9 times 9 to 81. And that was like a super tough thing for I would say for the Chinese student to learn during that time. And then
how old are they when they learn that? And what grade are they?
Second grade.
That's when I learned multiplication.
Yeah. And then also the cool thing that we don't use calculators for it. Like we have to memorize the chart, then we're able to like do it real fast if there's something going on, and then we cannot use calculator for math. I was like, oh no, I'm stuck. How I do this?
That's okay. That's okay. Calculators didn't exist when I was in second grade.
Yeah, we have like little simple ones. We don't have a TI 84 plus or TI, all the TI stuff thing. And then
we had an abacus just like you have.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna go. Yeah, because we do have to learn abacus, but to be later on.
With macaroni. Remember the little macaroni?
Yeah, we had the Chinese abacus thing, and then I remember that was on. I think it was 4th grade when I had to use abacus, and we have even like a 1 section or 2 section or so to learn how to like go up the thing, like one if you go
carrying, carrying, regrouping, all that,
yeah. And that was like super interesting for me. I was like, oh, but the thing is, like we had to buy the abacus. The school didn't provide for us. I was like, what? And then
like a ruler, a fly ruler, or whatever.
Yeah, we had to buy our.
We learned the ruler. They don't pay for. We don't get free fly rulers in America. We got to go out and buy one. In my time.
Like I had to go like buy my own like math supplies, like rulers. For the geometry thing, how to do the circle thing.
Par for the course.
And then the abacus, stuff like that. But luckily, thing is, I have one at home, like a wooden one, a wooden abacus at home. When I brought it to the school, to the class, I was like, Jared, dang, this is so like antique. It was like made out of wood, everything. Because the rest of the else people have, it was like made of like plastic, everything, like those plastic. And I was like, okay, yeah, it was really cool experience to learn the abacus stuff. And then what I remember for the multiplication chart was that after you went through all the way to the 9 times 9 plus 81, 9 times 9 equals 81, and then the teacher will exam you for it, and then you can make it during the math class, you're good to go. And then if you fail during the class, you have to stay after school, and the teacher will stay after school as well to let us like do one more time until you can finish the whole thing. So I was like, okay, and then for me, I was like I kind of horrible at math, and then I didn't make it during the class period, and then I was like, oh gosh, out of school after school for it. And
you could do a comedy act, and they just go to America and just say, stand up. Hi, my name's Jerry. You might ask why I'm here. I flunked math. That's actually funnier than you think it is, because we have a stereotype that all Asians are good at math.
Yeah,
I flunked math. Don't feel bad.
Right.
Don't feel bad. There are a lot of people out there that are math challenged.
Yeah, thank you. And then so usually the school finish around 4:30, and then if we didn't finish the math chart thing, and then the teacher will have a name list on the chalkboard, and it's your I think it was your first name. It was first because we have a lot of the same last names, and first name they will write. If you have 2 letters, they will write the first name. If you have 3 letters, the 3 characters, they will have to write the 2 characters for it. And so my name was on it, and I was like, okay, yeah, definitely I'm it, right? And then I had to stay. For me that day, I remember I stayed till about 6 o'clock p.m. I memorized the whole thing, and then like my parents were waiting outside, and they were like, "When's coming?" and stuff like that. And they got really, really angry of teacher that they let the students stay that late. And then it was like a lot of, so when I got out of school that day, there was a lot of parents like waiting outside the school gate and to wait the kid to go to take them back home. And they were really like discussion, why this teacher, let them stay so late? They were like have a lot of discussion on that. And then also we started was plus, and then we do minus, and then we did multiplication, and then the division. On third grade, I think I remember I did like the greater than equal to, and then also like that, and it was like multiply division that like built into it. It's really it's like a complex math thing. Yeah. And then what else? Yeah, let me think. Yeah, that was like whole month thing. And what I'm gonna show you right now is I kind of got like a picture, a screenshot of the multiplication chart for it, and I will show you guys real quick, and then can you guys see this? See? Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, is this the second grade? The second grade multiplication one that we had to like start it. So this one is like it's like a Chinese thing. Is like one. So I'll say it like in Chinese like 一得一, so it means like 1 times 1 equals 1, and it's all the ones and twos and threes.
Oh, so you put the operator after the operands, right? You put, in other words, the operation, which is addition, comes after the two numbers, right? So if I put 2 and then I put a plus, it would be 2 plus 2 equals 4, right?
Yeah. This one is the multiplication.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm multiplication. I'm sorry. So so I have like 2 multiplication. So I have 2, 3, and then times x, and then it would be 6, I guess.
Yeah. So but like we say it. So to the quickest, remember we had to say like this. It's like the easiest rhyme for it. It's like 二三得六, like like that. Like 2 times 3 equals 6. Instead of saying 2 times 3 equals 6, we just like say it super quick. It's like a Chinese rhyme thing. Yeah.
Like it's also, is it also like a shorthand, I guess?
Yeah, yes, like a shorthand for it. Yeah. And you guys any questions so far for
I do. So you don't have the X for times? Is that what you're telling me? So that's got to be really tough for a kid.
Yeah.
To come in and, I do the math class with kids, and I was thinking that mostly we just teach them the English words for things like plus, minus, but yet there's a lot more that they just oh gosh.
Yeah, this like because we do have the word in like times. Multiply in Chinese is 乘, like this word right here called 乘.
Okay.
That one, so it's called 一乘一等于一. So this thing like is super super long, right? Instead we're just saying like 一乘一等于一, we say 一得一. So it's like quick to have to like learn it. Yeah. And we do have addition is 加, like 一加一等于一. We have that, and then minus is 减, so is 一减一等于零, like 1 minus 1 is 0, and then times is 的, like or 乘, or 一乘一等于一, and then for division in Chinese is 除, so is 4除2等于2, so 4 divided 2 equals 2, like that. Yeah. But this it's really tough, like because if you say like divide, then maybe they know it, maybe they don't, or like if they know like times, they have no idea what that means. Like this time.
Okay, now we're actually teaching them how to convert. Without knowing where they're coming from, but we're teaching them how to convert their numbers, their equations into into a English format, or let's say a foreign format, right? Is that what we're doing when we're teaching the math? In other words, we can't assume that they know this format, that they're using a totally different one?
Because we kind of have a different like a format.
And
okay, we don't even know.
You're not even using
that.
numbers like the Arabic numerals. You don't use those. You use your own numbers, your own symbols for numbers. It's like mind-boggling. How do these children manage?
Yeah, like for this thing, the word times thing for this whole for this method, we use the Chinese numbers for it. But like if you do like the normal number, not normal, the Arabic ones, for in the regular textbooks, we don't use this thing. Yeah, we use the regular numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So you would think an 8-9-year-old would know Arabic numerals already?
Yeah, they should because when we do like on the max exam, we the number is the Arabic numbers, is not the like the Chinese numbers.
And what year do you do the exam?
Like they do like for start, I think it was for me was like I have to do a exam when I apply for the school. Was like a simple math. And then starting in first grade, you have to do it because we already have the math class for them already, and it'd be like simple additions. And then for the first semester, second semester will be like the minus thing, like you have to like that. And then the second grade was talking about like the multiply, and then for the first semester, second semester for the divide.
Wow. And do you do the number line? Like one of my classes was number line, and I don't remember ever learning to add and subtract with a number line. But they did. And like you start with 13 and you've got this word problem, and so you back up to the number to find, that's just a number.
Let me see.
And so I had to teach that. And so I'm like, okay, so is this the way you teach? Do they teach addition and subtraction with the number line?
Because I remember, I am not sure, because for me it was like way long time ago.
I know.
Yeah, because the only I remember was I did that was when I was in the U.S. I did the negative and positive thing, like the number, negative and positive.
I know.
So that way, yeah. That's for that I am not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my heart goes out to Chinese children.
Yeah. Okay, and then what I'm gonna show you the next one is this the second grade. This thing they have to remember for it. Like it's like they have to. I remember because they have to later on. Like I think was like 6th or 7th grade when they have the chemistry class, and then they have to memorize the periodic table. Yeah, and this is just a start for them, like starter for the second graders. And then there is an example here, an example about the third grade math midterm midterm exam. So this is talking about like like from the circle, you got to know the multiplication. What is this number and what is this number? Then you have to kind of like, is it greater than, equal to, less than? It's like kind of like that. And then like same time these same as well. So basically you need to good to know how to do the divisions first or the multiplication first. Like the third grade math. And then this is like, we call it this 填空 is like fill in the blank. For this one is, if 200 times 5, how many zeros will be in here? And this one is like, if that which one so who, like this one is basically 20 divided by 4, and what is it like, what equals to, things like that. And you see it's not the Chinese, it's like the now is the Arabic numbers, not the Chinese numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But
what
right
is the
here,
what is the circle? 30 times
circle.
30 times
Yeah,
8 circle 8 times 30. It's
yeah,
like
that's a
that's
good
like equal,
question. Yeah, and the
but it's not
circle,
always
the
equal.
Is
yeah,
that where is
'cause-
that where you put an answer? You put greater than an equal in it. I think is that what it is?
yeah,
I think
That's like
that's
fill in the
the
blank.
yeah,
Okay,
it's an
yeah,
inequality. You have to solve the
yeah,
inequality,
great.
or
fun
actually that's what the
inequality.
equality is.
Okay,
Yeah, like
Okay.
that. Yeah, and we don't like because I can't when I was still in China, the do the math thing. I can't remember or not. From my flashback. Uh, they have to learn like greater than equal to or less than equal to. Because
Mhm.
I don't have I kind of cut off on the memories. But when I was in US, I learned that, you know. And then it was like also the not the equal sign, it's the estimate sign, like that, the wave thing. Yeah, and that was learned to later on for the math class. And also this thing that we have used this abacus instead of a calculator. Yeah, we had learned that like during the math class, and then
Mhm.
it was really fun experience for me. It was really tough to start for the student to start with first, and then teacher will be on the front. Will they do like example is like you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you go up and carry one out to the top, and something like that. And then we had to well teacher do a demo first, and then we had to learn it like, and then they will give like a sheet, like a math problem sheets, use that thing to calculate it like da. Yeah, and that's what I like remember that. And then it was like a week of practice for the Chinese abacus. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But I think I was much older. I think we did that in seventh grade as sort of a thing that the math
yeah,
teacher added. Yeah, because
yeah,
it's an interesting. It's
yeah,
interesting.
we
Actually,
like,
talked about
Yeah,
different devices.
yeah, we kind of
Sorry.
like
and
started like,
we're a little bit behind a few years in the
yeah.
States.
Yeah, that's why they will all say, right? Asian good at math, but that's the joke thing. Like all Chinese folks,
I
like
mean,
since
it's optional in high school
really, yeah. For
at
us, it
a
was
certain point. Well,
like for us was like a requirement. It's like a mandatory thing. It's a part of class. Like you have to like participate for it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Rome.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions for the math class?
No, like, what did they go up to in high school? Like, we went up to like 10th grade, and then it was like I could decide if I wanted to take advanced math anymore. And when I found that out, I was like, oh, I'm out. But I don't know what they learn up till like pre-calc or calc, because we
I think
don't
they're taking
learn.
calculus,
Well, I
aren't
learned
most Chinese
pre-calc.
students, aren't most of the students actually taking calculus at least in their last or from that last 2 years in high school in 11th and 12th grade, Jerry?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Because I'm
I
not
think
sure. Because I went to the United States when I was 10 years old, and
Okay.
then
True.
yeah, if I think because I stopped right here in China when I was fifth grade. I went to sixth grade to U.S. Then I got my degree
What
all
city were you in? What city were you in?
Oklahoma, like Oklahoma.
Oh God, sorry.
What? What? Yeah. They should learn it. They should learn
I
it.
shouldn't say that.
They should learn it. The calculus, pre-calc, geometry, trigonometry, all that good stuff. Maybe later on during their like probably junior, senior, or sophomore, freshman year in high school.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
That was great. You answered my questions. I
Oh
appreciate
yes.
that.
Thank you. All
Okay.
right. Let me
So
see.
is that right? And does anyone know though? As far as I, I always got the impression that Chinese kids are probably a year or two, if not more, ahead of their American counterparts in terms of what they're taking in math on the average. So my assumption is that for any high school curriculum that they're probably that goes up to 12th grade or the equivalent to 12th grade, that they're going to be doing calculus, right? Or maybe even a second year of calculus. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I think for the math part, they even have like extra curriculum class that they can sign up for. We call this 奥数, is like the Olympics math, like competition math. And if they are super like interested in, and then the parents will let them to sign up. And yeah, and that.
We had like a math team, and
yeah, it's.
I was on this traveling math.
Yeah, it's called like Olympic math. It's like.
I think it's similar. We had math Olympiads. I don't know how math team was different than math Olympiads.
Yeah, it's like like I think it's called Math Olympia. Like it's really super super hard, like high advanced math, like for the regulars.
Schools compete with each other, or students compete in the same school?
I think for our school is I think it was I don't know, I don't remember they go out like to the compete to different schools. It's like internals thing. It's like a class they have they want to learn to like.
Then it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of lots of training academies too for math specifically. I think Kumon centers is kind of a Japanese model, exists in big cities in China, definitely, to where students go after school just to study math specifically for 1 or 2 hours a day. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a like Kumon like
enrichment,
Oklahoma too. Like my friend, like this Asian, the Asian folks, they become a tutor over there.
I think they even have.
I've seen the Kumon here.
I live in Thailand. I think they even have them here. They have something equivalent from Japan. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember math being that important in the U.S. Like we never study it. I mean, you can have like groups in schools, but I don't remember like specialized academies for learning math or study things outside of.
Yeah. No, there's no emphasis on it, and that's unfortunate because. Well, the whole thing is, I think the problem in the United States is that the teachers just they teach math as math. They don't teach it as something interesting, and you can make almost anything interesting. I saw this one guy that teaches physics, and I think it's more or less high school physics, and he does it. I mean, he knows how to. This guy's a good teacher. I think he's I think he's European, and I saw him take a big something the size of a bowling ball, which is really quite heavy, and he made this giant pendulum, and he's sitting there and he's standing against the wall, holding it up, and he lets go of it, and he says my faith in the conservation of energy tells me that I'm not going to be hurt, and the ball literally comes right up to next to his nose, but because obviously some of the energy has to be worn out. But he does it so dramatically, it's fun for the students, and that's how you teach. You don't say, well, teachers are very good at making things boring for kids. They're really good at that, and at least
my AP physics teacher did the same thing, but he hit the ceiling and knocked out a phone.
Oh, well.
And he also caused an explosion in class. And he was a bit out there. We watched Monty Python in class.
Okay. My teacher, it's probably a lot. I think when I did high school physics, it was 1971. And our teacher used to work. He supposedly had a nervous breakdown. He worked at Brookhaven National Lab, which is a nuclear research facility. And I always said, well, for someone, I said, that's like a paraplegic because of his condition becomes an Olympic runner. I mean, that's, I don't know how that helped his nerves, but apparently teaching was more relaxing than the pressures at a government facility. But he used to do all sorts of, interesting things, a Van de Graaff generator with the sparks and everything.
In North Carolina, we have the School of Science and Math, and we also have governor's school. So there are
Bronx High School
specialized
Sciences in New York
that emphasize it. So there's probably one per state, maybe, where the kids go.
Yeah.
And were you in Long Island? Oh, Manhattan.
Sorry about it.
No, I grew up on Long Island. I grew up in Suffolk County, Long Island.
Oh, me too. Oh, same thing, same place.
Oh, really? What town? What town did you grow up in?
Brentwood, Bayshore. Then I moved to Shirley.
You kidding? I'm from Bayshore, but what? You're much younger than me, probably. So
I'm 34. Yeah.
Oh no, you don't remember. My dad was a physician in West Islip and quite well known at the time, but he passed away in '71, so that's probably when you were before you were even born, probably, right? Yeah. I'm from Bayshore. I went to Bayshore High School, over on Fifth Avenue, right? You went to Bayshore High School, I assume?
No, I went to Brentwood.
I went to Brentwood. Okay. All right. I know Brentwood also.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Do you guys have any questions about math class? Anything?
I think it's, I get it sort of, I think what I need to know is that, or at least get an appreciation is that if I can throw an equation at them and they can read the darn thing, that's an accomplishment in itself, let alone get the math. So that's the one thing we have to be aware of is that they're actually learning a different paradigm and working in two paradigms at the same time. And they may actually be converting ours into theirs.
Yeah. All right.
They need to speak the whole equation loud.
Yeah.
And we teach all of this in 25 minutes. We have to teach all of this in 25 minutes. It's like, how do we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have a much better, I didn't even realize it, but I have a much better appreciation that when the kids absorb any of this math, it's an accomplishment. It's not just getting the math right, which it would be easy. It's being able to convert it and switch easily. And some of them do it seamlessly. I mean, there are kids that go seamlessly between the two paradigms. You wouldn't think, and that's why we get kind of spoiled as teachers because the kids are so good at it.
I think another benefit. Yeah.
Except you, Jerry.
I think another benefit here is for the students to just see kind of a different way of doing things. Because for them, this is totally foreign. It's better to do it in kind of a controlled environment in a classroom than if they actually go to the U.S. Then just be like, wait, what? How much tax do I have to pay? No, I'm just going to give the amount of money from my wallet, take the right stuff. That's, as long as we're preparing them with these
taxes
skills
now.
That does bring up something else about, I had a class today and it was about U.S. dollars. Okay. And you're going to have, all right, you're going to,
is that money monsters?
U.S. dollar, you're going to get $100, and this Timmy wants to pay for lunch, so he's going to pay 6 times 3 is 18, and he gets a 20, so he's going to have $2 left for his savings.
I know, it's the gift. Yeah, what he wants to buy a birthday gift or something.
Yeah, and so do they even understand U.S. dollars? Or should I'm just thinking I might just change it to yuan. You call it yuan?
Yuan? Yeah, we call it yuan or renminbi. Yeah.
If you yuan, it should probably be more because like 6 yuan is $1. So then it'd be like, it's a really cheap gift. Yeah, I don't know if that's my
but when I do this class, are they going to be so? Actually, I was just preparing for it. I was thinking I did it, but it's for tomorrow. So do they understand like an 8-year-old dollars?
I think they should because you see it in TV where it shows like the currency values. Like if you're watching CNN or something or like financial whatever, they do show that stuff.
Okay.
And students should see dollars and like
financial news.
No, it's on the background. But that's a good point.
I guess one of the things you could do is probably just look up RMB and dollar conversion for that day and just post it up there. Well, round it out.
That's just what an 8-year-old needs. Yeah, it's not just dollars, but let's convert it.
I got a 9-year-old, and he, I got to think. I can't think quicker than him in math. He's incredible. He's actually he's on grade 7 English already. The kid's just good in everything, and his English is totally fluent. And I played from a clip of Don Rickles, and he was laughing. He understands that. He's that fluent. And my understanding, he hasn't been outside the country. He's just been schooled well, and I think he's still in sort of a regular school, but he's just at the top of his class. He's considered like number 1 in everything. But the kid's amazing. I have so much fun with him too because he has a great sense of humor. He's funny, and he's 9 years old. I talk to him. I have more fun talking to him than I do most adults.
Yeah,
because he's just great. You don't even have to pay attention to his age.
I think I've converted it before when asking them a question like, what would you buy with $10? Like, they don't know. So then you convert it. You don't need to convert it any other time, I don't think.
Was it $200?
$2 is not going to get you anywhere. I don't know.
Cool.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. I do have one more. The next question, Cyril always asks me during a group class, why the students read out loud at the same time? Do you guys ever occur like that? Yeah.
And they read loud too.
Yeah, they read loud, right? Yeah. Okay. To answer that question, right? Because that's like a Chinese. I would say, from what I remember is, it's like a Chinese thing that even though during class. And then I remember that when I was reading the textbooks, everything, they will start a textbook like that, and then the whole class will read together, and then we have during the classroom we have one of the class leaders, and then either he or she, they will do like, hey, we're gonna read this chapter 1, right? And then the leader will either stand up or they stay down, and they will say, let's go, 1, 2, 3, and the whole class will go at this. Whole class will read out loud at the same time. These all have to be sync together, and then we're going through the whole chapter like for the lessons with just nonstop to it. And then after that, and then the teacher will know like, hey, okay, good, like let's do one more time. And that's why then during that time I remember I got really like, oh come on, we just finished one more already. We're just like that. And then after the second round of the read out loud, and then teacher will start the lessons. And then she will read one paragraph and one paragraph each. And sometimes, and we do this pop reading, like whoever volunteer first, and then read one even can do one sentence or 2 sentences, and then they move on to the next person, the popcorn one. Or we have like the reading activities, like from the first row, we go one sentence, and after it, they read next sentence after it, and then we have like 30 people, they read at least one sentence, and they finish the whole chapter. If they didn't finish the whole chapter, and we're gonna do one more round for it until they finished. Yeah, then I remember how like when I was still in China for the Chinese, and that's how our school did that. Yeah, and then we do read out loud too, like this, like their natural instant thing. Yeah, and then I will show you guys a picture how they look like real quick, and then so kind of like what's going on, like familiarize. Can you guys see this? Yeah, so basically that's during the classroom. We have to stand like the book stand on the table like that, and then we have to stand like this, like sit straight, and we wear the Honglin that thing, the red thing, and then we'll read out loud. Like everybody will sing together, read out loud, and then you can hear it. Like if you like, even though when you're reading this thing, and we close all the doors. Because we have front door and back door, and then we close it. Even though we close that door, and we do have other classrooms are doing the same time, so you can hear it like echoing everywhere. It was like, what? Yeah, it was really, really cool. And then we're having, let's have a competition. Who can read the loudest? And we have a competition like that. So everyone was like, sometimes we was like yelling, like, oh, like.
Oh, so that's why they're reading loud.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is really like sometimes like super loud or, normal. And we have a competition for that too. Like for me, I remember we have 4 classes doing this at the same time, because we start the class, like all the class will start the same subject at the same time. So basically,
yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Like basically is what you can tell, if they're doing the same thing, then we are doing the same thing. Like it's like that.
I don't mind them yelling, because sometimes they're not using a headset or a good headset, and the cut through is so bad on the some of the way that AC is implemented on the smartphones, that if they're yelling, it sort of helps with the audio cut through, so I can actually hear them and not cut off. Usually amplitude usually will solve that problem.
They're used to that, so that's why, like, we have like the one-on-one lesson where it's like whisper, I whisper, you yell, and I yell, you whisper, kind of deal. Like they enjoy it.
They do. They like that.
Do you guys any questions on this topic, like why they're so like not like they're stay at the same time?
And also, how they split the screen, and there'll be Timmy and then Cindy, they're talking to each other. But I haven't been able to speak in English in a way that says, just read the one on the left. They read the whole page all in one. Yeah. And so actually, I had a sign made that says, read the section on the left, then stop. Okay. And so now they start doing that, but they don't understand to stop after that.
Sometimes, especially with some of the lessons that go too fast, and the kids are really good. You don't have to really teach them anything. They're just performing the lesson, for fluency. And because the way you have to approach it is, I'll have them read it. We'll go through it twice just to kill time, and then we'll do the role play. And then I'll be Timmy, they'll be Cindy, and I'll be Cindy, they'll be Timmy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we'll go through 4 iterations of it. Most of them sort of get it. I think most of them get it, but I can understand how they won't get the idea, especially the first graders and kindergarten. They may not get the whole role play concept.
And this is group class, but they also a trainer told me once you move their pictures below the words, that helps, because below the speech bubbles, because then they know what's their role. So that has helped a lot, but sometimes it doesn't work.
That's why
I'm learning.
That's why I need a parent there, and hopefully the parent speaks English. That always helps.
Yeah, like if for us, like if for the Chinese students, like if the teacher did anything, they just read the whole thing through, like and they were like all the way, because they used to it during the class. They used to do that for the Chinese thing. Yeah,
that's great.
As well as for the English class too, because they have an English literature on it, and then the teacher was, let's read, start 1, 2, 3. They'll all the way to the end for it.
Yeah.
Do you guys any questions for this topic so far?
No, but I think you've given me an appreciation to be just a little more. It's not that I'm impatient, but I mean, internally, be a little more patient with what's going on in some of the math lessons, because they might be preoccupied with converting from what they know to what they need to know. So that certainly made me a little more appreciative why kids that are seemingly pretty smart don't get it. It's not that they don't get it. They're trying to process and convert it to a different system.
To convert different languages, different system, like in formatting.
Different system, different system, because the actual math equation itself is a different language. Where I get you.
Also, I do have a bonus one for you guys, and then I got this like from my friend. and her kid was from first grade, and I have another friend from third grade. I will show this cool thing, like their class schedule, like in Chinese, like China class schedule. So this one is basically from the first grade. That so what I highlighted are the interesting stuff that they will learn right now. And so start is like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? And if you go down here, and this the schedule. So this is Chinese, math, psychology, moral and law, and this one is the class meeting. And then this one is soccer. And my friend, like she wrote this, like it's like handwritten one. So she wrote this thing right here. What's going on in this one is when they get out of school. For this one is either 3:10 or 4:30. Like for on Monday. And this one, yeah. And this one,
Friday they get out at 12 o'clock. Oh, that's why I get more lessons in the afternoon on Friday. That's what I assumed anyway.
Yeah, and this thing, like right here, they on Tuesday, the kid get out, on 4:10. This one right here is basically learn how to writing stuff. And like right here, on this one is Yuan is Chinese. It's a double class, back-to-back Chinese, right over here. Oh, oops. And this one is music and PE. And this one is really interesting. It's called comprehensive practice. I was like, what is that? So basically, they do is go out and to their different areas, and then they will do like a volunteering thing, like maybe help out pick the trash around the school and things like that. And then this one is is opera, Chinese opera. This one, and that is the moral and law, and PE art. Yuan was Chinese. And each day will have different subject to learn. But instead, how like in America, I remember we go like for us, we go to different classroom, right? It's the opposite way in China. All the students will stay in the same classroom. The teacher will go in rotate, to do that. And this one is really cool. It's called Tongyao, and you guess what it is means it's like the children folk stories that they will learn. It is like a special class, like a really cool class. I was like, hey, what's that? So that's my friend was like, okay, this one is, or they learn like nursery rhymes, children folk stories, things like that. That's the first grade one, like yeah. And then another one set up like this is the first grade, first class.
Well, what grade were we looking at before?
This one is this one's a first grade class as well.
Psychology?
Yeah, they have the Xingli psychology. Yeah.
What are they teaching psychology to a first grader? I mean, they're not teaching Freud, are they?
Maybe just simple things because I'm not sure for that one. Yeah. This one is really cool. Thing is the thing what I highlight on it is this one's a first grade too, but it's from the 2017 year, first grade class schedule. Basically on Monday from 8:10 to 8:25 is so Shengqi is when we raise the flag. This is I think it was the Chinese flag that raised it up, and everybody will stand outside the stadium or arena, and then we got by lines, boys one line, girls one line, and then once the race thing we're on the process of doing that, we had to like go like this, like for like raise the hand for that, like and watch the flag go up. And then
do they make speeches? Do they make speeches after that, or before and after? They have some kind of lecture or speech?
They will have like a flag team will bring the flag to the flagpole, and then have the team to throw the flag up and then raise it. And then they will now do they will radio it, like they will record it thing. They will say 升旗仪式 the raise flag start. And then you have the Chinese national name, national anthem for it, and then they will we have to like listen to it, go like that, yeah. And then on Tuesday, instead of doing the flag, they will do a the morning meeting for the teacher, like the teacher will talk about it, saying like that, how to start it, and then from 8:25 to 8:45, they will have the morning exercise. they will have that period. We do is like I remember was do like a four sets of like exercise. You gotta do like that, like those things. Like you go like that, and then during at 10:20 they will do for this the eye for your eyes exercise. You have to do like this thing, like make your like eyes exercise like that, and you have to do like this thing to make so they yeah that is how like keep your eyes not like all like all red and stuff, like keeping them healthy. And also we have another round for starting at 3:20 from 3:25 for 5 minutes, another round for the eyes. And this one, and then for the sixth period, class period, and this one is called the 品生, is your moral and how to act, how you first you will learn it, the moral, and then you will like put into it, like put into action to it. And then this one is called the acrobatics, how you do the it's like an exercise thing that you have to acrobatics. Is that what I'm saying? Yeah.
Gymnastics or what? Gymnastics?
Yeah. It's not gymnastics. It's called aerobics. Aerobics.
Aerobics, yeah.
Aerobics. Yes. Aerobics. That's the last class.
Cardio, yeah.
Yeah, cardio. Yeah, cardio.
Cardio for them.
Or on Friday, and yeah. So this is my friend. This is like a super traditional Chinese schedule. Like, I was like, okay. So the thing is, what interested for me that my friend kids learning is this thing. Opera drawing. They would draw the Chinese opera's face, the Chinese opera's face word, that thing. And then this one is Taekwondo, that they learn Taekwondo during the class. And then this one is opera singing. They have to learn how to sing the Chinese opera. And right here, this one is after that, and after they learn how to sing, they have to perform it on stage for the Chinese.
What if you can't sing?
Well,
everybody has a voice.
Yeah. Well, maybe they do a group. Maybe do like a solo, a group, and then also they will start. Well, they start kind of like on 9:30 the morning exercise instead of the super early one. These are like different. This is third grade right now. Third grade, class 2. Yeah. And then right here is calligraphy right here. This one from 11:40 for calligraphy. And then right here is lunchtime, take a break. And then there are 3 classes right here. And then in the afternoon. And one of the cool thing, this one called Shudu right here is Sudoku. They have to learn like Sudoku during the class. I do a lot of math stuff. And then right here, the most interesting to me, this is another Chinese instrument called erhu, because I remember I talked about the erhu instrument. It's like a Chinese, only have 2 strings. It's like a Chinese instrument thing. Yeah. And then PE right here, and it's a computer class they want to learn. And I was like, wow. And I was like, wow, they learn like computer already in 3rd grade. And I was my friend was like, yeah, they even play games on computer or cell phone games, like all those like computer games for it. And then PE right here. And then on Monday they have the class meeting too, which is afternoon. And then this is the art one right here. And science, this one, and this is the moral one right here. And then right here, the first day on Monday, they start with the English right here at 8 a.m. to 8:40. 英语, yeah, right here. Yeah. Then with science, Chinese, calligraphy, Chinese, meeting, art. That's their whole class schedule. And each day you can see it's different.
Yes, it's different.
Yeah.
Question, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Do they have a lot of the you just mentioned after lunch? Like, how do they set them aside? Like, if they have some sort of like different classes than each other or elective type of thing? Are those taken after school or after lunchtime?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Like for after lunch or for you mean different electives like beside these like arts and stuff like that?
Yeah, because I was teaching in Korea, and the funny thing is over there they had their core subjects in the morning, and then after lunch they would call it after school, and I'm like, what do you mean after school? It's 12 p.m. And then they
Right.
would do all like the music and the art, and they would do all of those classes when they came
Yeah.
back. Sometimes they would have gym, like,
Yeah,
well, that's
'cause
different because we always had them on 1 or 2 days a week in the US.
yeah. Yeah, I remember I take the PE class. Like for China, this schedule is fixed schedule. Like for right now for the third graders. And
Mhm.
then if the subject not showing up, like electives not showing up on here, and they will maybe they will have it for next semester, or they will have to do the outside curriculum for this for the subject that they want to do it. Does it help for the answer the question? Hello?
Nancy, I guess she was asking you.
Yeah.
Oh, you asking me
Okay,
a
I'm
question?
back.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, good. I do have one more question, Jerry, when
Yes.
you're ready.
Yes. Yes, I'm ready.
Well, you know, we're English teachers, but we're teaching
Right.
math. So do the Chinese English teachers do any of the translation of math? Or is that kind of up to us?
I think the Chinese teacher for me is they didn't do any like the translation between like
So
multiply,
it's
divide. They
just
will
reading.
it just like reading, they will let them know how to say in Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember. But like for English class, they have I think for our teachers we learned it like the 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 English version of like what is time like what is addition like for
Okay.
English.
And like countable nouns and uncountable nouns, they
Yeah.
teach that in
They
math.
for math
Why
uh
would they do? Why would they
Oh,
do that?
wait.
That's a
No,
grammatical
I
thing.
don't mean that. Please forgive
countable
me.
now. Yeah.
It's late. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm usually asleep.
Yeah,
But
they
no, so I was just wondering if the curriculum, and this is probably for another time, if the curriculum we teach has already been taught, because I have a lot of students where you would think that I'm teaching the English, but I'm actually teaching the content too. All of this in 25 minutes for a one-on-one. So I've always wondered, you know, like if they know about the Wright brothers, and so I'm teaching them all about the Wright brothers as well as what's a bicycle.
yeah,
That's
like for
another question for another
yeah,
day.
that's a really cool question. I can't come up with a topic like that for the next one. With the Jessica Archer. Yeah, I'll write it down.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They seem pretty up on American culture more than certainly other countries. And it's popular. It's interesting. It's American you know, everything from Mickey Mouse to KFC. You know, I had a kid today. I did that first grade lesson today. What is your favorite place? Or what you know, what place do you like? I like the playground. I like the beach. I like the park. I asked, I guess it was Harry. I said, Harry, what place do you like? I like KFC.
Yeah, I got that too.
Well,
I like KFC, so why don't they? That's good. Okay.
Bad stuff though. Tastes good, but bad stuff.
Yeah.
Jerry, you've been great as always. Thank you.
All
so
right.
much.
Yeah. And do you have any other questions?
No.
All right.
I guess I'm good for today. I was just, this is my first time here.
Cool.
I just noticed what the time was. Oh, I can make the meeting. Okay, I'm not sleeping.
Yay.
Oh, perfect.
That's great.
All right.
Yeah, thanks
Super
again,
job,
Jerry. You rock.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Isaac, so do you want, oh, Isaac left. Okay.
Me? Oh, no, I'm still here.
Isaac leave?
No, I wanted to say thanks to Jerry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. That was great.
Thank you guys
That
for
was
showing up
wonderful.
for
Yeah, that
the
was
Beans
great.
Talk
Do you want to take up that topic? Does anybody have time? We're talking about China and attitudes and that kind of thing.
To be really honest,
Our
let's talk about that one another time. That'll be better.
Sure. Okay. No problem.
Great.
I just thought it was an interesting topic. I thought it was an interesting topic. And nice meeting you face to face finally, Isaac. I haven't met you. I've seen your name floated, so I'm Avi. I don't know.
Oh, nice to meet you too. Let's
Nice
do
to
it.
meet you. Hopefully I'll be around. By the way, do you know when the contracts are coming out?
For that part,